The environmental meter, light meter, sound level meter, and force gauge each have different functions, but all operate in a similar way. This video is intended for anyone interested in learning about any of these tools or this type of tool. This video is rather long, so feel free to skip around to find whatever information you need. First, I will run through what each of these tools does. The environmental meter has a variety of uses, including as a light meter and a sound level meter, but I will leave those for the dedicated devices. The environmental meter will also measure temperature in two different ways, with a Type K thermocouple and without, as well as airspeed and relative humidity. The light level meter only measures light and does so through this sensor. You can adjust the units and measure relative to a given light source. The sound level meter measures sound in decibels with two different weighting filters, Class A for normal hearing and Class C for loud environments. Finally, the force gauge measures force in a few different units. It is able to measure both push and pull forces. Each of these tools is provided with a manual which contains more details as well as the range, accuracy, and precision for each sensor. To begin the tutorials, I will start again with the environmental meter. The environmental meter has many uses which may be cycled through by pressing the function button. The first function is the thermoanemometer, which measures temperature with the internal sensor and wind speed with the blower fan. The wind speed can be measured in meters per second, kilometers per second, feet per minute, miles per hour, and knots. These can be cycled through by pressing the unit/0 button. The temperature can be measured in both Fahrenheit and Celsius. The temperature units can be changed by pressing the Fahrenheit/Celsius button. With any function on this device, measurements can be recorded over an interval, after which the meter can show the maximum and the minimum readings over that interval. To do this, press the max/min button once to start recording. Then again to stop recording. It will first show the maximum, but pressing the button again will show the minimum. Holding the max/min button will clear the recorded interval. Note that with any function where temperature and another measurement are shown, the meter only records the other measurement. In this case, it recorded only the wind speed. Furthermore, one can also press the hold button to stop the display from updating and only display the most recent measurement. The next function measures relative humidity and temperature with the internal sensor. Relative humidity is recorded up to 80%. The next function on this device is the sound meter. The sound is measured using decibels with a Class A frequency weighting and a fast time weighting. This device claims to meet IEC 61672 Class 2 standards for those frequency and time weights. For more details about sound meters, see the later section of this video on sound meters. Pressing the function button again, the meter will measure temperature once more. This time it will only measure temperature with the thermocouple, so insert the Type K thermocouple and ensure that the ground and positive markings on the thermocouple match with those on the meter. The thermocouple allows you to measure exactly at the point at the end of the thermocouple. The measurements made with the thermocouple are much more accurate and have a much larger range than those done with the internal sensor. You may see the manual for more details. The final function is the light meter. This function measures illuminance in both lux and foot candles, which can be toggled by pressing the lux/foot candle button. The light meter can be reset by pressing the unit/0 button. For more on light meters, see the next section on light meters. Before using the light meter, cover the sensor completely and press the reset button. This ensures accurate measurements. The light meter displays both lux and foot candles, which can be toggled by pressing their respective buttons. The range of the light meter can also be changed to account for the environment in which it will be used. These ranges can be found in the manual. The light meter is equipped with a max/min button. The first time this button is pressed, the meter begins recording and displays only the maximum. The second time it is pressed, it will display only the minimum, but continues recording. The third time it is pressed, it will display all values and continue recording. Holding the max/min button will stop the recording. There is also a peak button, but this is out of the scope of this tutorial. See the manual for details. Next, there is a hold button, which stops the display from updating and displays only the most recent measurement. Finally, there is a button that says rel. This button sets the current value as the 0 and measures relative to that 0. Holding rel will return the device to normal behavior. This sound meter records in decibels according to both the A and C weighting filters, which can be toggled with the A/C button. The meter can measure from 30 to 130 decibels, and the current measuring range can be adjusted by pressing the level button. The device claims to be able to change its sampling interval, but the display updates every half second regardless of the level chosen. This meter has a max/min button, which when pressed once will show the maximum measurement since the button was pressed. And when pressed twice, will show the minimum measurement over the same interval. Pressing once more takes the device back to its default display. This meter also has a hold button which, when pressed, stops the display from updating and only displays the most recent measurement. The force gauge measures both push and pull forces in 3 different units. To start using the force gauge, plug the sensor into the port at the top of the device, being sure that everything is lined up properly. If you are measuring a push force, you can leave the sensor as is, but if you are measuring a pull force, you can screw in the suspension links to attach your bodies to. Before measuring anything, be sure to reset the sensor by pressing the 0 button. If you are using the suspension links, screw those in before resetting. This device measures 3 different units which can be toggled by pressing the unit button. This device measures in newtons, pound force, and kilogram force. This meter also has a peak button which shows the maximum force recorded since the button was pressed regardless of the sign. This tutorial covered many tools, each with many different functions. As you gain more familiarity with these tools, you will find that they each operate in a similar manner, though each with different purposes. As always, if you find yourself struggling, refer to the manual of the tool you are using or ask a librarian.